Hi, besties. I'm currently having technical difficulties. I started filming this twice. My dumb battery, or whatever it's called, turned my camera off twice. And then I needed to make room on my camera because I can't help but keep all the footage that I have. Okay. Happy spring equinox. Happy Thursday. It is March 20th. It is currently 6:26 p.m. and the sun has yet to set yet, and that is a beautiful thing. Okay, so recently I watched Saturday Night, the movie that recreates the chaos and magic that went into the first episode of Saturday Night Live as we know it today. And by recently, I mean days before the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, which was back on February 16th. So about a month ago was recently. For as long as I could remember staying up late on a Saturday night, I've always been in love with that show. The humor, the way that the show really feels alive, and the older I got, the more I actually understood the jokes fully. So it has always been a goal of mine to host a musical guest on there, so that will remain on my vision board until I hit the 5 Timers Club. So we got a lot of work to do. And I didn't get the chance to see it in theaters, but as we know, I am a big believer in everything having its purpose, in timing, and watching that film at the time that I did really reminded me so much of what it is that I'm currently doing. Now, I'm not a 20-something putting on a late night skit-based television show that nobody has ever accomplished before, competing with Johnny Carson on a Saturday night, but I am a 20-something Filipina American pursuing the life of a full-time multi-hyphenate creative, competing with the country I'm in, falling into the hands of a fascist and Nazi sympathizer, with a mom who worries about her daughter's future, silently wishing that she pursued a career in healthcare instead. So pretty much the same thing. Some days I feel like I'm Lucy in 51st Dates, living the same day over and over again until the love of my life shows up with a film that reminds me of exactly who I am. And other days I feel like Lorne Michael, fighting for the life of his vision with the ambition to go after something so grand and so great, accepting nothing less than that. It's a terrifying thing. In the back of your mind, you begin to question, am I really cut out for this? But then there's a voice further beyond that doubt that tells you to keep going. You don't know why, you don't know how, but it's an unshakable feeling and you can't help but listen to it, no matter how many people try to convince you otherwise. In truth, people can't believe in something they've never seen before. It's human instinct for them to want to protect themselves and the people that they love from the unknown, but to be the vessel that that idea came from, there's this knowing that you already know it's possible. You just have to bring it to life and stand 10 toes down so that everyone else can see it. And there's a lesson I've been learning in real time, knowing to the core of me that I cannot become another slave to an institution that doesn't have my back or serve my highest potential. Hell, the other day my mom actually recommended that I go get a job at Starbucks or Target, so at least I had that going for me. And of all the places she wanted to throw out there, absolutely not. I worked for Disneyland for about 6 years until I was 25, and I have had enough of working for an entity that treats me as a replaceable cog in their machine versus a piece of curated art in their museum. I want to be. I am so much more than that. I have such a grand vision of what my future is going to look like that even that freaks me out, but that's exactly where I want to remain. I desire to live a life that nobody around me has ever allowed themselves to dream before. I desire to be the one that breaks the boundaries on what it means to be alive. I desire to create a life that is going to live way beyond me being on this physical plane. And once I came to this conclusion, I realized how devoted I needed to be to my vision. That as long as I remained dedicated to myself and to my ambition, that nobody could ever convince me otherwise. Yes, it's terrifying. Yes, everyone around you, maybe minus a select few that either understand or sympathize with the journey, will try to convince you that it's not possible, that it's never been done before. But that's the point. It's never been done before because you're supposed to do it. Don't you see? You were given this special gift, this drop of sunlight that is meant to have a ripple effect that will change the world as we know it. Only if you act on it. Only if you plant your feet in the soil and get to sowing. Only if you remain so devoted to that seed, knowing that it will bloom into a flower, that you don't need to check underneath the soil to see if it's growing. Be so devoted to your vision that tuning everyone else's opinion out is second nature. Be so devoted to your vision that you don't care if you're currently making any money or receiving any return on investment yet. Be so devoted that you know the reward is in the act of doing it. Be so devoted to your vision that you would choose your vision over eating, sleeping, resting, but also please do those things because you need to fuel and recharge in order to keep going. Be so devoted to your vision that until it's over, there is still work to be done. In 2025, we're no longer aspiring towards anything. We are exactly who we say we are. We are devoted to our vision, and we won't let anything get in our way of making that our reality. So it's currently week 2 of my working with the artist's way, and what a week it has been. I had a bit of a challenging time getting my first video up. I wanted it to be done on a Sunday. It did not get up until Tuesday. And once we did have it up on Tuesday, my mom later that day questioned me about what it is that I'm doing on my path, on my journey, how I'm making money, blah, blah, blah. And it was a test. Right after I posted up my video and was feeling so good in the frequency of my desires, it was a test to see if I would begin to doubt myself again. And I sat there, allowing her to express her worries and her woes, what other people in our family are doing. And I just kept reminding myself that it was a test, that it was a reminder to stay in the vibration of what I was calling in, of what I am calling in, of what is already mine, that it was a projection of her fears versus the fact of what I'm manifesting into my reality. And week 2 is coincidentally, but not coincidentally, called Recovering a Sense of Identity. And boy, was this week a challenge to see if I would continue to stand in who I know I am versus who I fear I would become. And the first line I highlighted was, "It is important to remember that at first flush, going sane feels just like going crazy." This book really just gets it. It just gets it. And when I first read this chapter, I finished it at the top of the week, so it wasn't like I was manifesting these things into my reality. And maybe subconsciously it was the tests, it was the challenges that are brought up with doing this work. But now that I'm reading it back, and we're gonna do our same old reading, my highlights from this chapter. So the first section is called Going Sane, and we have that beautiful, very real quote. The next one is called Poisonous Playmates. The most poisonous playmates for us as recovering creatives are people whose creativity is still blocked. Our recovery threatens them. I don't want to say my mommy's creativity is blocked, but it might just be. By not asking the great creators help with our creativity, and by not seeing the great creators' hand in our creativity, we could proceed to righteously ignore our creativity and never have to take the risks of fulfilling it. As blocked creatives, we focus not on our responsibilities to ourselves, but on our responsibilities to others. I'm just saying. You will learn to enjoy the process of being a creative channel and to surrender your need to control the result. And if we know anything about me, I try my best to control the results of everything. And then I put a heart next to your own healing is the greatest message of hope for others, which is why I find doing this work is so important for me, because one of my pillars, my major pillars in the art that I create, the music that I create, creating content like this, is to help other people on their journey, because I know how hard it can be to pull yourself out by your own will and strength. And for some reason, God blessed me with this resilience to keep going regardless of how dark and twisted and deep I got into that hole I've built for myself. For some reason, I'm able to see so optimistically and choose to do the work no matter how hard it felt, no matter how far away I felt from that vision. I know that it's a part of my purpose to share this work and to help other people get on the path towards doing the work. I didn't highlight anything there. Okay. Very often we fear that if we let ourselves be creative, we will become, this section is called Crazy Makers. And that's a crazy. When I first opened up this book, I was distancing myself from a friendship I had for a very long time and realized that in some weird way, they were my crazy maker. And the more I did the work for myself, the more I came back home to myself. And it was, I think friendship breakups are the hardest thing because you don't want to tell this person, like, you're bad for me. But also, for some reason, that person carries this karmic energy that ends up being bad for you. And we have to do what is in our best nature, no matter how weird it may feel, and no matter how much we question that. But then later down the line, we see that if we hadn't made that choice, we wouldn't have become the person that we ended up becoming. We'll talk about this on another day. But anyways, very often we fear that if we let ourselves be creative, we will become crazy makers ourselves and abuse those around us. Using this fear as our excuse, we continue to allow others to abuse us. What was I just saying, guys? If we don't choose ourselves, other people will take that opportunity to abuse our energy that we're giving a little too freely. Is this still crazy makers? This one is called skepticism. Creative recovery is an exercise in open-mindedness. I like that. This one is attention. The truth is that a creative life involves great swaths of attention. Attention is a way to connect and survive. Survival lies in sanity, and sanity lies in paying attention. The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity for delight. The capacity for delight is the gift of paying attention. More than anything else, attention is an act of connection. Okay, I'm just gonna let that fall. And that's it, because we get into the tasks after that. La la la. Okay, let's get into the check-in and then we can chitty chat a little longer. Okay, so how many days this week did you do your morning pages? We're hoping 7, remember. How was the experience for you? How did the morning pages work for you? Describe them. For example, they felt stupid. I'd write all these itty bitty and disconnected things that didn't seem to have anything to do with one another or with anything. Remember, if you are writing morning pages, they are working for you. What were you surprised to find yourself writing about? Answer this question in full on your check-in page. This will be a weekly self-scan of your moods, not your progress. Don't worry if your pages are whiny and trite. Sometimes that's the very best thing for you. As we discussed last week, I love morning pages. I love morning pages. If there's any advice that I give anybody when beginning the internal work in pursuit of whatever it is that you're in pursuit of, I recommend morning pages. 10 toes down. I always feel better after my morning pages. I always feel more clear-headed about what I have to do for the day because of my morning pages. I don't understand how I lived life before my morning pages. Mr. Man and I actually had a really nice conversation on Saturday night, Sunday morning, technically, after our friend's party. And he even mentioned during that conversation, he was just like, I know that you like to journal every day. And just knowing that that's a part of me, like my journaling, and especially morning pages, are such a, like, what is it? And not incremental, maybe incremental, but it's just such an important tool that helps me not go crazy. So yeah, they feel so good. And sometimes it's hard, you know, even knowing that I love them, like your hand is starting to get cramped in the morning, especially with the way that I write them. Sometimes I'm like literally laying flat and just like writing, and like just like the smallest, and I write in fast cursive. So like my hand just gets sore because that's the first thing that it's doing in the morning. But oh man, I love morning pages, if you guys couldn't tell. That's all. Did you do your artist date this week? Remember, the artist dates are a necessary frivolity. What did you do? How did it feel? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I technically did not do an artist date. I'm kind of embarrassed, but also there was a part of me, so I was like doing my makeup, right? I washed my hair. I did an everything shower after my workout today because Thursdays are like my last day, and then Friday is my active rest day. Saturday I have another workout, and then Sunday is also an active rest day. And like I'll do a yoga flow or Pilates, and then I still do my elliptical while warming up my voice. But yeah, I just, for some reason, Thursdays are like the hair wash day now. And I want to throw in another hair wash day, but also like I don't want to, I'm in like a love-hate relationship because like I have a little dry scalp. Actually, yeah, I just saw like a little speckle fall. But like my scalp gets so dry and I need to figure out how to take care of that. But anyways, what was I saying? I washed my hair today. Oh, well, while I was doing my makeup and like getting ready and doing my hair, I was questioning like, okay, am I gonna film my check-in now and just be real about not doing an artist date yet and just own it? Or do I like do a really quick artist date and do something and then show up for you guys here? But I was just like, no, like a part of the journey is to be accountable for ourselves and to be real and to be authentic and to allow people to see me in my vulnerable moments, even when I don't accomplish all the things. As we said, I'm a perfectionist and I want to show up doing everything right, but it's okay. It's a part of the journey. We need to, I even mentioned this last week where I need to prioritize artist dates. And also I feel like this week just like flew by. I feel like it just flew by. I feel like I was just making this video and Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, the eclipses are like like I feel really good, but I know I also need to do that extra work of like, you know what I mean? Anyways, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant to your recovery? Describe them. I described them earlier actually when my mom, I don't want to say attacked me because she wasn't attacking me. She was just reflecting back what I needed to let go of. And speaking of, for the last 3 days, I actually was participating in a wealth embodiment alignment 3-day workshop. I think I already said 3 days. 3-day workshop with, I want to say her name right. Hold on. Beep, bop, boop. Deanna Chambers. If you haven't seen her, I think I first came across her on Threads and she does such beautiful work to assist us in aligning our spiritual work with, you know, the businesses that we're creating for ourselves. And this is my second workshop type thing that I've done with her, and just having those moments to ground ourselves in our highest self and reminding ourselves that we are our highest self now, even if our physical reality is not yet reflecting it. We are that person already and we're just physically catching up. And I feel so good. We did our last session earlier this afternoon and I am sad that it's over, but also I know that it is my responsibility to continue doing that work. And so after we did that, I hopped in the shower and I took a cold shower, like cold, icy cold. I was shivering after I washed my body because I use it's Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle body wash, and I was literally shaking, you guys. But I know that I needed to go through that for some, it was like I was called to it in order to do something uncomfortable and step into this next chapter like refreshed, and it felt nice. And I was listening to it's a wealth frequency 15-minute thing on YouTube. I'll like, you know, post it here. And that felt good. And she gave us the challenge of messaging someone. So you either had to take out $100 from your bank account and like keep it in your wallet and just keep it there and not spend it, but to have that reminder, the physical reminder of having money, or we have to ask someone for money without explaining like, oh, can I have $100 for this? Like we just have to ask and be confident and knowing that we're worthy of receiving. And I have yet to do it. I have my message typed out for Mr. Man so that I can ask him for money, but also like I've been wanting to ask him for money, so I'm just like, asking someone for money is crazy. But also recognizing that I feel that way is like that call. And I'm seeing 2 birds flying right now as I say that, and eventually I'll send it. I was kind of hoping that he was going to message me first, so that like my first message after not chatting with him today is like, hey, happy Thursday, happy spring equinox. Can I have $100? But I think that might be what it needs to be. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, I did my last wealth embodiment alignment workshop this afternoon, and then an hour before that, technically 2 hours because it started at 11 and it didn't end until 1. She said it was going to be an hour, but I did a masterclass on virtual assisting. And I know Mercury retrograde isn't one of those times where you're supposed to be making like crazy decisions and setting yourself into contracts that are just like not the time. It's interesting information to accrue. So I'm just in this interesting period where I feel like I need to go and do these things, especially now that it's spring, but especially the fact that it's a Mercury retrograde on top of that. I'm not allowing myself to be too hasty too soon, if that makes any sense at all. But I feel good. Doing the work feels really good. And I did several of the task activities last night, and that felt really good. And then on a separate topic, but also maybe relatable topic somehow, I'm obsessed with Abbott Elementary, and Abbott Elementary's episode last night was so sad. And if you know, you know, but I'm like, there's purpose in that. Like the timing of this episode, like there is purpose in that. Like why did they do that to her? It serves a purpose. What's the purpose? Like what is it trying to reflect into me? What am I stepping into now that episode happened, and now that I'm in this place that I'm at, and I feel so called to purge through my room again and just free myself of things that keep me tethered to my limited belief self. And I feel really good. Like, and it's scary. It's a scary thing to allow ourselves to feel good. I totally get it. But the work is working. I feel good. Like, I feel so good. Like, I keep looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're pretty. Like, you're pretty and you're doing your thing and you're being aligned with people, places, and things that are taking you exactly where you want to go. And it's challenging to stand 10 toes down in that, when other people around you are, subconsciously wanting to trigger you into going back into who it is they believe you are. But you have to show people, you have to tell people who you are, even if they don't have the tangible proof of that. You standing in that knowing is enough. I need to remind myself that so much more often. Also, tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to a dinner for with some content girlies, and I'm nervous to say yes to go because, like, what if I need to pay for food and I don't have money to pay for food? But then I need to say yes. I see birds again, 2 birds again. I need to say yes to this opportunity because it is a stepping stone to living the life that I want to live. And I need to trust that I'm going to be taken care of, that I'm worthy of everything. And okay, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes while we are here so that I don't chicken out. I love being grammatically correct. Okay, I did it. Scary. But we need to do these things. We need to take the aligned action, the inspired action, so that we can get to where it is I want to be. Because I want to make content and make money from making content. I want to make content of me just existing in life and make money from that because I'm worthy of it. Because my life is interesting enough for people to want to pay for. Like, what? Like, why am I stopping myself from stepping into what it is that I already know I'm worthy of? Hold on, we're gonna run out of space. And we're back. But anyways, stand 10 toes down in who you know you are. Tell the universe who you know you are. Tell other people around you who you know you are. Leap and the net will appear. There's also something that in this chapter, there's a section called Rules of the Road. Rules of the road. At the very bottom, it says, place this sign in my workplace. Great creator, I will take care of the quantity, you take care of the quality. And as I said, I read this at the end of last week, but the beginning of my weekly sessions. And it's been sitting here on my mirror right underneath leap and the net will appear, and just reminding myself that I just need to show up, that I just need to do exactly what I feel called to do. And everything else is taken care of. I have to continue editing a vlog from this past Sunday's DNA session. I have other video content ideas that I need to take the time and edit and follow through with, but everything is happening as it should. I am doing everything I should be doing. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and nobody can convince me otherwise. So with that being said, we're gonna end it here. I love you guys so much. I had seen this video last night, and hurry. I don't know why I said hurry. It was a video called It was called Creators If You're Ambitious But Lazy, Please Watch This by Chet Callahan, but I know him now and I subscribed. And the title screen says discipline, and I had commented one of his tips was talking about like making content that shares what you're learning, right? And I had commented, I love this affirmation of my switch in methodology. I just restarted The Artist's Way and began to document the journey by recording a video at the end of every week for my check-ins and posting them to YouTube. It's a double whammy to create content while also keeping myself accountable to show up. And he said, have to appreciate timing like that. Thanks for checking out the video and taking time to leave the comment. I'm glad to hear it helps. And it's just, it's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the more you continue to listen to your inner guidance and to the outer guidance that is being presented to you on the path, the more affirmations and the more little tidbits that you're going to get on your journey that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So just trust it. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay. I will really go now. Hydrate. Be kind to yourself. And what shall we say today? Tell other people who you are. Don't just show them. Don't just assume that they'll know. Tell other people who you are and watch how everything else just begins to... She responded, I'm scared. Awesome. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. But yeah, tell people who you are. Even if you're a little scared on the inside, the more that you show up as exactly who you are, the more you're going to believe it. And then everyone else will begin to believe it too. We're on our way, guys. I love you. I'll see you soon, right? Yeah, we'll be back. Okay, ta-ta.